All right, Coach. Huge win last week on the road. Really took it to Belton. Almost put up 50 points. Looked great on both sides of the ball. Just give me overall thoughts on how you thought the guys
I
did.
thought we played the most complete game that we've played so far this year. I was really proud of, in particular, the way the game started. They get an onside kick and we stop them on 4 downs. There's a tip pass interception and they get it again on their end of the field. We stop them on 4 downs again. I think that really set the tone defensively for the game when they had some really good opportunities there in the beginning. Then we went down and scored on 4 straight drives and really gained control of the game and never gave it back. I think the game was won at the line of scrimmage, both on the offensive and defensive line. The way that we won that game is how I love winning. I think that's a picture. If you asked, how does Mark Smith like winning? That's what it looks like, where you can run the football, you have control of the line of scrimmage, you take care of the football, you play good run defense, which we did. They had negative yards rushing in the game. That's a formula for winning.
Yeah, Coach, talk about your team bouncing back. Obviously, kind of a fluky interception there right off of Kastner's hands.
Yeah.
And then you guys just, the defense responds immediately right after coming off the field.
Yeah, it happens. That tip balls happen in the game, and it's part of it. And I was really proud of how the defense came back and responded. We call them the firemen. You got to put it out wherever they start with the ball. It may be with 1 yard to go, it may be with 99 to go, but the mindset that they have to take the field in those situations is critical. And the guys came out, they executed well. 2 fourth down stops right there in the first just few minutes of the game. It really did establish our identity and how we were going to play Friday night.
Coach, after an 0-2 start, you guys bounced back, rallying off 2 straight. What gives you the confidence that you guys can keep this momentum going, and what's kind of changed those last 2 weeks?
Well, I don't think anything has really changed. I think we played really good people in the beginning, and I think we're a better team for the schedule that we've played. I also think if we went back and played those 2 games now, I think the result would probably be different. Just continue to improve. Play good people that put you in stressful situations. Get exposed in areas that you need to work on. And then if you put your team in these positions early in the season and you continue to progress, you'll have the team that you want come district. I always say, if you see improvement in teams in the first half of the year, you've got a good team. And our team certainly has done that. I'm confident, in us this week. We need to continue to focus on us and being the best San Angelo Central team that we can be, executing better than we did last week. I told them what we did last week is not good enough. It's got to be better this week, each of us individually and then collectively as a unit. Let's have that complete complementary game this week. That'll be a great kind of jump start into the open week, get ready for district play.
Coach, I talked to you about it a little bit post game. I want you to expand on it now. I think the best performance on the night had to come from your offensive line. Mm-hmm. It allowed guys to have big, stat days. Yeah. In that third quarter, after the trading the touchdowns, there was that drive where y'all took 6.5 minutes off the clock. Really just impressed your will on that team and broke that defense. Just talk about your offense.
We had about 8 straight runs, at that point, and no negative yardage rushes for us all night. And we did. The offensive line did a great job. We targeted the right people. We got hats on hats and got our running backs on the unblocked defender. And if you do that consistently, you're going to have a great run game. And I thought the backs did a great job of running with their pads down and downhill. We kind of have a 3-headed monster at running back, and each of them came in and did a great job. And also, in addition to the offensive line, the tight ends. We got in a lot of 2 tight end sets. Kastner Stribling and Judson Bright were just physically dominant players during the game on Friday night. So all that collectively, I love what I saw. I like being able to run the football. I think that opens things up in the passing game. And if you can get somebody on their heels and having to add an extra defender into the box for run, and we got a lot of weapons outside. And really, really proud of the way the offensive line has come together from week 1 to week 4, probably the most improved unit on our team.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about, you have a lot of offensive weapons. This week it was Jimmy Edwards, really having a monster game. Talk about, the versatility from whether it's Colton Hill, Gavin Johnson, Gabriel Garcia, or Jimmy Edwards.
I think it makes it challenging on defenses to figure out, man, which one of these guys, all right, this guy had 3 touchdowns this week. Well, how are we going to match up against him? And then it opens up something for somebody else. I think, that's a real advantage that we have in the passing game. And then add the layer to it, the way we're able to run the football. Friday night. Now, people had some issues about what they need to do in order to, to kind of add some extra hats to stop the run game, and then you go one-on-one with our guys on the perimeter. That's an advantageous matchup for us. And Jimmy stepped up, had a great game, 3 touchdowns, I think all in the first half, right there, just a monster game. He did a great job, and we've got a lot of weapons across the field that we can get the ball to. And then when you see things come together like it did on Friday night, it just opens up so many other things for our team offensively.
Coach, on the road in Waco coming up, what do you see from this matchup?
This is a very athletic, big team that we're going to play. I think that, they just kind of haven't gelled together yet so far this season. You look at them on video and you're like, man, this team looks really physically good. For whatever reason, they've had some things go wrong. They had, 2 mishandled kickoff returns to start the game, and they look up and it's 14-0. They haven't even snapped the ball yet, on offense. So they've kind of dug themselves into some holes, which is, unfortunate, I know, for them. But they got people, and the game is won with players. And, we got to do a great job of offensively and defensively and in the kicking game this week. And I've told our guys, our focus always needs to be on us. We need to be the best Bobcat team that we can be. And if we focus on that, it's kind of always a nameless, faceless opponent. But another great chance for us to go on the road, another good road trip, road environment. We got to pack, the guts. We got to pack offense. We got to pack defense. We got to pack everything to take with us to Waco. But I'm expecting our best football game this Friday night.
Yeah, Coach, last week Belton was a really hot team coming into the season. They had a great win over Hendrickson and then Georgetown, and I think most places had them favored over you guys to win. What type of statement does it mean for your program to get a win like that on the road?
Anytime that you win on the road, it's hard. It's hard to do when you're in somebody else's environment and unfamiliar place. But I think that our guys just went in with the confidence that if we execute our game plan, our best is good enough to win this game. And that was a good Belton team. That win over Georgetown is a perennial district champion down there all the time. Was a really quality win and it's a much improved team. So we knew it was going to be a challenge. And as the game went on, and they're kind of late in the first half, I realized, man, we have game control right here. We're doing a great job. And the players, their attitude at halftime was just 0-0 on the scoreboard. Let's go push the gas pedal down, make plays, execute my job. So I knew then they had the right mindset, the right mental disposition to go and perform and to play, and to gain that win on the road over a quality opponent, which was really good for us.
Building off of that statement right there, with another, back-to-back long road trips, you just talked about how physical and athletic that Waco looks. From a coaching standpoint, how important is it for confidence for your guys to go into the bye week with another road win like this?
It would be huge. I think that's what we're aiming for. And if we can get another one here this week, we'll be in great position to start. I just really want to focus on playing our best football. That's what I harped on the team about this morning as they were here. Let's kind of block everything out that's happened. We kind of tear everything down to the studs every week and rebuild. Our performance last Friday night has nothing to do with how you're going to perform this Friday night. We got to go earn it. We got to build it throughout the course of the week and then be at our best come Friday night at 7 o'clock at kickoff. But most certainly, the confidence that comes with winning, the confidence that comes with executing, the confidence that comes with me doing my job, certainly does build in a young person, and a team overall. And that would be a great feeling to have going into this bye week ready to start district.
Coach, one thing that I have noticed, you can compare different years against each other, but one thing I have noticed this year is that your penalty numbers are down this year. What does that say about the kids' maturity and discipline as the season progresses?
Yeah, some penalties I think are unavoidable. We have each goals on offense and defense. We want no foolish penalties. We say, pre-snap penalties, things that are, just kind of that just really hurt the team. But it does. I think it speaks to the maturity of the team, the professionalism that we have, just the veteran nature of the guys that we have. We play cleaner football now than we did a year ago. In terms of penalties, in terms of execution, just kind of overall. So I look at that. Those are hidden yards, in the game that can really affect things. We had a drive this last Friday that was, we had two 2 penalties on it, gave them 30 yards on the scoring drive they had to open the second half, which was upsetting, which has been uncharacteristic of us so far this year. So it's something that we talk about, that we say, like, this is how it puts us in a better position, this is how that puts us in a worse position. So it is overall, it's been much better, much cleaner.
And finally, Coach, the last question for me here. Heading into this weekend, you got the bye after that. Like, I know that y'all aren't looking past Waco at all, but at what point after that Waco game do you say, all right, like we're starting district tomorrow?
Yeah, we do on Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday of next week. It's already in my plans in there to go on. We start getting ready for district ball that Tuesday of our open week. Kind of get a jump on our first district opponent that way. But you're right, tunnel vision right now on what's ahead of us, and that's the game Friday night there. But yes, that's something I kind of always work a few weeks ahead, with the team schedule to make sure that everything's ready to go for that.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.